Alhamdulillah, my learning the Arabic language and what I have learned of it is from the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it is also from the hasanat of my brothers in the different cities that I lived in. And the people in this community, when you find yourself in a community that's very diverse and you have a lot of people around you who have the ability to speak Arabic, you should take advantage of that opportunity. Alhamdulillah, I've been a Muslim for almost 11 years. And as soon as I became Muslim, I immediately got out of my negative environment and I started to live with some brothers who were upon the Sunnah and who were Arabs. And I started to learn from them what I could learn from them. And I had tutors, and I saw that the key to understanding the religion was knowledge, and the key to knowledge, or the key to benefiting from the religion was knowledge, and the key to knowledge is the Arabic language. And in particular, I'll tell you a story, and it's an important story, especially for right now. And it's an important story for right now because of what happened a couple of days ago in Oregon. And we all know about this, and it's important from our masajid, from the masajid of the Salafiyin and Ahl Sunnah, of the Muslims, that we talk about these things, right? Everybody knows what happened in Oregon. There was a boy who drove a van full of what he thought were explosives, and he wanted to kill some non-Muslim people. There was a person in my city who has some of these types of beliefs. And after having these beliefs for some time, he went crazy. But before he went all the way crazy, when he was only half the way crazy, and I was a new Muslim, he tried to poison me with his innovation. And I had roommates who were Arabs, and I had the opportunity to sit with some of the mashayikh. And when I was a Muslim for only a few months, and I was around brothers like our brother Abu Wais rahimahullah ta'ala, and other brothers who are influential people in the dawah, and in their different cities who are the imams of masajid and so on and so forth. And these brothers, they gave me a lot of advice, and I had questions I would ask them about these questions. And I had a lot of doubts about some of the things that this person was telling me, and it really hurt my heart because everything that he said, he had a verse from the Quran to try to justify it. And he would take a verse from the Quran or a hadith from the Prophet ﷺ, and he would put his own spin on it. And he would spin it, and I would be spinning with it. Right? Along with that, before that, I had found myself. Before that, I had found myself on a couple of occasions with the Jama'atul Tabligh. The Jama'atul Tabligh. And I was a brand new Muslim, and some of the things I heard from them really bothered me. For example, there was one man who, he told a story when we were in the masjid, and he was having his lesson, reading from whatever he was reading from, Hayatul Sahaba, or whatever book he was reading from. And he said that on one occasion, Umar, he drank some milk. He said, Umar, he drank some milk, and immediately he vomited the milk, right? I don't know the authenticity of the story, but what he said after that was kufr. What he said after that was kufr. He said, after Omar, he spit up the milk and vomited the milk, he said, where did this milk come from? And they said that was from the milk that's given in sadaqah. And he said, do you know why Omar threw up that milk? He said, because Allah was in the milk. And I said, I was a brand new Muslim, but I said, this guy doesn't know what's coming out of his face. Who would say a statement like that? And so I started to see, along with the fact that in the city that I lived in, that outside of our brother Abu Wais rahimahullah ta'ala, and who we would see on a time-to-time basis, and we would send his classes and so on and so forth, that a lot of the brothers that I was coming across in that city and different cities had been Muslim for a very long time, but really didn't know a whole lot about Islam. And they reminded me of the Christians before I was a Muslim, and how people just believed something and didn't know why they believed it, didn't know what they believed, and they were easily dupable, they were easily trickable. And so with these sorts of things combined, along with the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, at the same time that I was confused about some issues about terrorism and so on and so forth for a very short period of time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He blessed us with a visit to the United States from some of the people of Ahl Sunnah at that time, and who came from other countries, and he from the Mashaykh, and also our brothers from Salafi Publications in Birmingham, England. And they spoke in a lot of detail about the things that I was confused about, and I was very grateful to them. And I'm still very grateful to them today. And I saw that they had proof and evidence in Arabic. And at that time, I had learned a little bit of Arabic. And as a matter of fact, when I became Muslim, I had already learned the Arabic alphabet before taking my Shahada. And I started to realize at that point how important it was to learn the Arabic language. And I had a good friend of mine who lives in Egypt now, may Allah reward him and preserve him. When we were at the program, he bought a large Arabic library. He spent about $300 on books. And he was on his way back to Egypt, and he left all of those books with me. And in the few months before he went back, we sat with those books and we would just read. And he would make me read to him, and he would say, "What does this mean? What does this mean?" And I had the dictionary, and I would go through things. And I spent a lot of time with the Arab brothers, and I picked up a lot of vocabulary from them, or say a good amount of vocabulary from them. But I think it was the understanding that to protect yourself from things that are very dangerous to your religion, it's very important to have knowledge. And in order to have the shortcut to knowledge, instead of always waiting for a translator, that you should learn the Arabic language, right? That's the long answer. Barakallahu feekum.